Hi guys, Broman Jenkins back again. I left something out of the last video I showed you guys, and that was mostly because I didn't have it at the time, and I forgot to equip it immediately here. Um, I wanted to try the stun gun too, but it's a feature the engineer class has. He unlocks it at like level 4 or so he gets it before he gets the med pack or the ammo boxes. Also, I don't know why the game spawns you looking away from the mission. But it does that. But the engineer has something that makes him more useful than the soldier. Actually, it basically makes him the most useful class overall, as long as you have people like my teammates here who were, KDR farmers basically. You'll see why. Now, the sensor grenades, we all know how those work. They show off the area, so I would be able to see anyone who wasn't thermo camoed there. But there's the UAV, and it basically takes up the spot my camera's taking right now. I fucked up and I didn't put it on here. But once I die and remember to put it back in, you'll see why I really like the engineer class so much. Outside of that, I did want to. Here, I tried to deploy it and got really confused. I remember just going, "What the fuck was what? Why does the UAV stay on the ground?" But I did want to mention a couple things I didn't mention in the previous impressions video, and it's stuff like if you hit up, you can use the underbarrel attachments, and for LMGs, that means you can have a bipod, which I think is very useful. And also, the engineer class seems to have a weird. I don't want to. Ooh, nice. I don't want to say it's weird, but it seems to have a very interesting. Right there, see the laser that showed up on me. I think some people are mentioning that it looks like the laser shows up even if the person doesn't have a laser. Alright, and I think this is where the fun begins, because I remember to equip the UAV. So the UAV, if you don't remember, was actually a major feature in Advanced Warfighter, but it was, one of the flying kind that you just hit up and it moved forward a little bit, and that was it. This one is a deployable weapon, or deployable, I should say, and it basically functions like the sensor grenade does, but you fly it around. This is extremely useful. As you can see, the range on it isn't bad. You can switch view modes, and if you look at the top right now, I got 300 points for that assist. Same here, when this guy eventually does die. This is why the engineer class is possibly a little bit overpowered. Later on, I start using shotguns along with this. Oh, darn. This guy eventually dies, believe me. He tries to go around first. I started using shotguns with the engineer class, and basically using UAV as my primary. Here's something I started doing, is I started throwing down waypoints if I saw guys in thermo camo. So if this guy, if there's a sniper here, I'll hit the right bumper and throw down a waypoint so my fire team can see him. It's not the best system in the world if the other team, or if your guys have no idea what you're doing, but it works really well. So some of the flaws of the UAV, well, there are some. I really like it and all, but it's weak. It can take about 2 shots or 3 shots before it goes down. When you're sensed by the UAV, so this guy right now says detected on his screen, and it's going to say detected UAV on the right, so all he has to do is look up. As you can see, I'm getting shot at now. All they have to do is really look up, and there's a big icon in the sky showing where the UAV is. It makes it balanced a little bit more, because all it takes is somebody to look around and take it out real quick. And you can call the UAV back to you if you hold the left bumper in. So, if you go off the map, of course, it freezes, so you have to stay in the operational area. But, yeah, it's a very useful little tool. And why my team isn't over here, I have no idea. I'm tagging everybody. It reminds me, there we go, it reminds me a lot of the Recon drone. Oof, you got fucking quickscope, son. It reminds me of the Recon drone from Modern Warfare 3. Actually, it handles almost exactly the same, I should note. except you use the triggers to go up and down and not the bumpers. I'd heard you could walk it, so I tried it there. It didn't work. But the basics of it are pretty good. I mean, the enemies show up on the mini-map with the directional arrow, and then they show up as a red outline like it would with a sensor grenade. If you find a safe spot, you can basically UAV to your heart's content for an entire match, and still be a major contributor to the team. Alright, so I let it go. You can hit left bumper and leave it in the air, wherever it is. That's actually a really cool feature. It means that the engineer can, say, put the UAV over a trouble spot, and as people come through it, a choke point or anything like that, or near an objective. See how that guy was on the radar there for a quick moment? So I can do that and find out where exactly they are. My sensor didn't seem to go off there. So let's toss another one. There we go. So he can see me, I can see him. Went well for me. Until I got flashbang there. Flashbangs are brutal in this game if somebody grabs them. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to be about 9 more minutes of UAVing. But the gist of it is, well, here's the other balance to the UAV, by the way, in that you can't deploy it in your immediate area of spawn unless you spawn on a fire team member. So you have to basically stop, throw it out. So you can see I have 2 kills, 2 deaths, 5 team actions, and I'm the second person on the team right now. It's not hard to rack up points with the UAV. I think for capturing an objective or something like that, you get 200 something points maybe, and if you watch the objective, you get another 350 points, 375 points. So each one of these, and you assume your team's going to kill at least 2 or 3 people per objective with the UAV, you'll probably rack up twice or 3 times as many points as the rest of your team. So all you have to do is be in the right place at the right time. And I mean, it's hard to say it's not super cheap, because it really isn't. But if the other team doesn't understand what they're dealing with, you can pretty much just dominate them. I mean, you'll have constant cover on where exactly they are and everything if you have a group of people who know what they're doing. And for the most part, people seem to understand the UAV outlines. It makes the game a lot easier on a lot of degrees. So let's toss this. Hello. So I don't like the fact that when you knock it out, if you get somebody into outline mode, that you don't always get the intel points as well for the kills. Get fucked. So there's a couple other ways you can grab some quick points. Here, just kill this thing. You get 150 points for destroying equipment. You get ooh, I just got fucking killed. You can get more points for deploying some equipment near objectives. So throwing a camera down or something like that will get you some more points. Alright, let's spawn on this guy. So this is probably the only fire team spawn I have this game that was any decent. I don't like the goblin iron sights, so I try to avoid them when I can. Look at this. Wish I had a UAV up. Stun gun. Missed. Dead. Dead. Oh, got him. So the stun gun is an interesting tool in this game. It's a one shot at a time kind of weapon, so it's like the golden gun. It works best on enemies who are slightly injured already, and it doesn't kill them. You have to do that yourself afterwards. But what you can do when you stun gun somebody, take that, you sucker, is you can go ahead and hack them. You'll pull up a little computer out of your hands, out of nowhere really, and start working through them and getting intel. The stun gun's range is limited at best. It's almost a melee weapon with the range you need to be in to hurt somebody, which balances out pretty well. You won't get a lot of points. Well, actually, you get a lot of points if you stun gun effectively. If you just go around firing it off and hoping for pistol length kills or something like that, you'll be very disappointed. But yeah, the game really grew on me between finding out about the UAV system and playing with some people that I actually knew and knew wouldn't be complete fuck ups. I really appreciate that. I think the rifleman class is, possibly the most traditional class. You have a good chance of scoring a lot of points with riflemen, but because the engineer class is basically built on pulling off amazing team actions like this, and because team actions are so highly valued in this mode of the game, which I think a lot of people end up playing when the game comes out. Double kill. I didn't get any assists for that. Weird. But the team action stuff and the fact that the engineer can be fairly deadly in close range combat especially makes it one of my favorite classes, and makes me feel like when this game comes out, this is going to be the class I use almost all the time. Once again, I parked my UAV right over the objective, and I just feed my team constant intel. I'm just running right towards this fucking fight, and it's not and just move it a little bit. There we go. It's still a fair fight. They could at any time have a guy. Look, I had just got sensor grenaded, for example. At any time they could just throw a UAV up or shoot it down. It's not like it's invisible to the naked eye or anything like that. You have to keep it in a certain height or it won't start detecting things, because there is a distance limit. So you can't just put it so high up that it's a speck, but you can put it far away from somebody because it can zoom in a little bit. I don't like the reversal mode where I can, if I hit A, the screen shifts over to mostly white with black outlines. Don't like that. I like the black and white mode a lot better. So now that they're close to the point, let's do this. I don't like the I'm going to say this, and I'm sure no one's going to disagree with me actually. I don't like the fact that thermal camo makes you invisible as you plant or disarm a charge or anything like that. That drives me absolutely nuts that the game allows that. I'm hit! Medic! Sensor deployed. So,
hostile capture the supply cache.
Yeah, hide behind that wall. One of the things I will say about the game is that it gives you a lot of options in terms of cover, in terms of staying out of sight, and it also gives the people who, I guess not this option, it also gives the people who are shooting you a lot of options to get around you. So you have to just be careful about that. We saw in my first video, the pipeline video, that there are definitely people who know the maps well enough to know where they can hit you from when you're behind certain cover. But yeah, it's one of those things. So one of the things Combat Stance found out, I can't pronounce his name, found out last night was that if you have a supply cache like we just had there, and you pick up ammo from it, you get incendiary rounds, which is just very cool. I think that's a good incentive for people to use to go after those objectives. And here again, I try to stun gun a guy. Now notice I want to point this out. I got 75 points for a kill assist. That's as many points as you get for a kill. Once again, that counts as a team action, so it pops up in there. I mean, and let's park this thing right over the objective. Come get me, bro. Hello, please don't stab me. Thank you. So that's one major thing to this game, I think, is that, oops, my drone's deployed, but I can't see it anymore. It makes a lot of use of the team action system. It makes good use of the cover system. There's really not a lot to complain about except for the fact that all your weapons seem to be very weak at first. You need to, if you don't have the points from it, you will be very disappointed in your guns. Which means that low-level players popping in, even though everyone's going to have an ACR at this point, those guys are going to be pretty fucked because they're not going to have things like drum mags or red dot sights or muzzle compensators. Or if you have a goblin, which is actually a solid gun to start with, you're going to have these fucking red dot. Look at this iron sight. Yep. Looks like somebody's got a UAV over me. I don't know why I didn't look to find it, but I would like to point out that I didn't know that it told you there were signals telling you if there's a UAV or not until Combat Stance told me. So that's what I blame it on. So instead of ghost riding the UAV right here, I'm gonna try to move it around so they don't shoot it down real quick. But I have basically their entire team right here. So this is, like I said, this is why the engineer is such a great class. I like to pick up stragglers when they have a bunch of people in there, so no one gets surprised by this guy or that guy up there. I think I mentioned it, but if you die as the engineer while you have the UAV up, the UAV does go away. So it's not like it stays there forever, like a Modern Warfare kill streak or something like that. It goes away immediately. Oh, he died. So at this point, I've basically, because of the UAV, locked those guys back there. They can't really move forward without getting seen. And, I mean, all I have to do now is park it, basically, and win the game for my team. Here we go. 7, 6. I do like the round structure that basically persists. So, and the way it works. So there's defend objectives and... Oh, there we go. There's defend objectives and there's objectives that you have to go plant, and they'll place them on your side of the map if you have to defend them, so you spawn near them. And I think that's a good move. But look at that. First place. I had double the points of the nearest guy on their team, almost. Just good times. Alright, bye everyone.